All right, everyone. So I know in the last video, I very specifically focused on those groundbreaking enhancing changes that we're going to be getting, where you're going to be able to exchange your Blackstones directly for fail stacks up to 30 without having to actually plus 14 to 15 reblath. There's not going to be an efficiency penalty right now. It looks like it'll take the direct amount of stones that it would normally take to get to those fail stacks anyway. I really went over this in much more detail in the last video. If you guys want to know more about it, definitely check it out. But the thing is, that last video, I just talked about those enhancing changes, and it actually turns out that this Global Lab update has got a lot of other really crazy stuff in it too, that obviously I wasn't able to get around to because I was so hyped up and excited about those enhancing changes, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. But let's take the time to actually go over basically everything else that's going to be in this update here, because it's got some other stuff in it as well, and some really, really big changes. Those of you guys who are PvP fans, I've heard some massive changes for Siege, and unfortunately I'm not the best when it comes to like PvP updates and info, but we'll go over it here, and I'll link this in the description if you guys want to take a look at it on your own a little bit later. And from what I've heard from many people now, this is definitely some big stuff to look forward to. But before we get into this, I want to share with you guys some new codes here. We've got 3 of them here that are new, and let me go ahead and pop them up on the screen for you right here. They should be right there now. There they are, hopefully in yellow. And the first one is 200 IQ Puzzle Solve. The second one is ENDL-AIVE-ANDS-QUAD. And then the third one is Don't Die to the Boss. So feel free to go ahead and enter those in-game if you guys haven't already. I do not know when these expire. I would imagine probably not too long, so make sure if you guys are watching this, you do this sooner rather than later before they expire. Unfortunately, if you guys are watching later on in the future and they've already expired, I mean, I try my best. I really do, guys. I'll do my best always when I can to update any videos I can with any new codes. And I see that the big thing here is one of these codes does have, it looks like 3 loot scrolls in it. So, you know, if you guys are a grinder, definitely make sure that you guys enter these. Really super duper quick update here, or I guess overview. Those of you guys who don't know how to enter the code, all you got to do is go to Adventure Support, use coupon. There it is. You just enter it here, and there you have it. It'll get sent directly to your mailbox right over here, and this will be where all the stuff shows up. So, very simple. And now let's go ahead and get into the overview for the update on Global Labs. Now, again, a reminder that Global Labs, guys, this is not on the live server yet. It's not on NA, it's not on EU, it's not on Southeast Asia. It's still going to be a little bit, generally like 2 to 3 weeks is the timeline that we're looking at. This seems to be the kind of the trend they've been following lately, but nothing is confirmed yet. It could be longer, it could be shorter, but at least this gives us a pretty good idea of what to look forward to in the future. So let's dive into it. And there's also going to be a teaser here for the Corsair Awakening. We get a little bit of a screenshot, a little bit of a teaser here. Not a whole lot, but, you know, something, because they've been very quiet about it lately. So, obviously, you know, we've got the Mansions update. I talked about that a few days ago as well. So, they've got the more expanded details here on kind of getting into that right there. The Mansions quest line added for the Blue Mains Lions Manor, prerequisite to obtain it. 50 contribution, of course. And I won't really get too much into detail. I do have that video up from, I think, 3 or 4 days ago now, where I kind of talk about the Mansions update in more detail. And if you guys are looking forward to it, though, definitely look at this in a little bit more expanded detail on your own. Feel free to check out that video from a few days ago as well. But Mansions will be coming to Black Desert Online. Now, the enhancing improvements, the entire last video on the channel, I went specifically over this in much further expanded details, really explained exactly what this is going to mean, step by step, coming from somebody who does enhancing basically all day long. I really give as best info as I can about this, but for this video, we're going to obviously skip out on that because there's a lot of other stuff to go over. Music album improvements. There you have it, guys. Music album improvements. Now, this is a really big one here. The Node Siege War changes. I've heard from, like, I think 4 or 5 people that I generally talk to, more so than others, that, hey, check out these Siege updates. Unfortunately, I'm not, like, the biggest PvP person, at least not yet, anyway. Monka S. But right now, I'm not the biggest PvP person, so like this stuff is not going to catch my attention as much as it would for a lot of other people. But I've heard that there's some very, very big changes here. Very good news, hopefully. And now if you win in Calphion, Medaya, or Valencia Siege Wars, in addition to the basic tax benefits, all guild members, including war heroes, will receive a victory reward per individual. That sounds like, again, as somebody who doesn't PvP, that sounds like a big change right there, though. Even for somebody who doesn't really know a whole lot about it, Victory rewards are now considered to be worth over 3 billion silver coins. Holy crap. That is, that's some big money right there. We are planning a special incentive for guilds who fought but did not win. However, to prevent minimal abusing, a certain level of conditions is set. In addition to the victory reward, you can get the same tax as before. Balanos and Sarandia Siege Wars are in the process of being revamped. The two regions will be revamped in a different way, and during this period, Siege Wars will be held only in Calfion, Medaya, and Valencia regions. A maximum attack defense limit system will be introduced to Siege Wars in Medaya and Valencia. However, this system does not apply to the Calfion Siege War. The maximum attack power and defense limit are applied to all actions, PvP, such as the character's basic attack, non-awakening, awakening skills, and summoning type skills. And you can see the exact numbers right here for those limits right there. However, this figure is subject to change when it is updated on the official server, as is basically everything else with the Global Labs update. That kind of applies to basically everything is on the Global Labs servers, but it's not live yet. It's still going to probably be a couple weeks or so, and all of this stuff, PvP related or not, like it's all potentially subject to change, so, important to mention that once again. War heroes can now play an active role in Siege Wars. You can now contract with up to 10 heroes for each guild participating in the war. The conditions for participation in the Siege War have been changed as follows. Before change, tier 3 to 4 occupy one or more. After change, occupy one or more nodes regardless of tier. Guilds that have won the Siege War can now participate in node wars. That's something, again, I wish I was a little bit more knowledgeable and experienced about this in particular, but I've heard this is a big deal here. A couple of people told me about this, and there you have it, guys. So, guilds can now occupy only one territory for Balanos, Sarandia, Calfion, Medaya, Valencia Siege Wars. This update applies only to the official Korean server. Important to note that right there. The Brilliant Medal of Honor, a personal reward for Node Wars, will be added to the Korea official server. So I'm not going to get too much into the exact details of this because, again, it looks like this is Korea only, and, we don't really know too much about this for us. Maybe it's not coming at all. Maybe it'll come later on in the future. Who really knows? Again, if you guys really want to look at this and dive into more detail, especially if you're like much bigger into the PvP scene, I will link this in the description. You guys can take a look at it. This is from the Black Desert Foundry. So like this version, it is still translated, but it's generally done pretty darn well. So those are, the people who end up doing that, putting this out there, like you do a very, very good job. So thank you very much for doing all that. And you guys can take a look at the PvP notes in much, much more detail. Let's keep going here because there is even more stuff. We'll get into the Corsair Awakening, but there's a couple of quality of life changes as well. I'm really happy to see that. Like, even though it's not like a super big deal, I love to see like a few little quality of life changes that are actually like reasonably significant. They make a difference in every single update because that is a very good sign for the future of the game. It means they're taking it seriously. They're taking people's suggestions seriously, and they, quality of life is very, very important. It's not really like generally the main focus of updates, but throwing in a bit here and there just to keep the game in a good state makes all the difference. Because if you don't do that at all, that's when, the clunkiness is really going to start to show in games, after not doing any of that sort of stuff for a very, very long time. So more details about Siege stuff right here. Important, this is probably important for those of you PvP folks. Defense change numbers, all this sort of stuff here. Let's get into the UI improvements. Actually, this is kind of a minor change, but hey, UI improvements. A party recruitment button has been added to the function button area in the upper left corner of the game screen in the season server. When creating a recruitment article in the party recruitment UI, you could select the size party/platoon. Accordingly, the size has been added to the party recruitment UI list. This is actually kind of pretty cool here. So it looks like we already got actually some nice changes that ended up coming to the recent patch that we got in the NA server. I'm guessing EU and Southeast Asia got this as well at the same time. But now you can search your inventory, which is pretty cool. They've got the view my stats, like, overall, new stuff, good stuff, things people have been asking for a long time, and it looks like they are potentially expanding this even further here. It looks like in the sales tab of the central market, a search function has been added so that you can search for items sorted in the central market warehouse. That is really useful, especially if you have a lot of items in your central market warehouse. This might make your life a bit easier. So there you go. A connection line for dividing system messages has been added to the equipment enhancement section. All right. Other changes, the Rift Fragment item, which is a combination material for the Echo Rift, has been changed from Character Bind to Family Bind. Now, if you're wondering, whoa, what about Corsair? What's going on with Corsair? You said something about Corsair? yeah, that's actually after the other changes. For some reason, they snuck it in there at the very bottom. Some monster changes here. Some of Zarka's apostles. Let's not get too much into this here because this could take too long to really get into. You can see there's a lot going on there, so you can take a look at this in more detail on your own if you want. This is actually kind of nice. They changed the quest in Odolita where, you know, they recently changed that Turo resistance. It used to be kill 50 Turos. I think it's just 1 now. And it looks like they also changed the corrupted Ahibs. It looks like they went down from 300 to 150. So those are the most difficult part of the main storyline right at the very end of OD Part 2. So, you know, they made it easier and quicker, and now it's even better. So when a character's level rises, the phenomenon in which screen playback is interrupted due to UI exposure and exposure and effects has been improved. These are just system changes, bug fixes, class changes, all classes. Oh, I forgot about a really big one, guys. This is actually where we are going to be getting those movement changes. This was a very big deal when it was announced. A little controversial, actually. I didn't realize how many people really actually liked the new movement. And you guys, they have a very nice little GIF here that shows what the movement is currently and then what it is actually going to be changed to after with these movement changes. And the different classes that this is going to apply to. So Archer, Guardian, Hashashin, Nova, Sage, and Corsair. And you can see here, perfect GIF for a little demonstration here. Before the change, you can see that it looks like they slide a little bit. You know, a lot of people, I don't want to get too much into this because there was a lot of discussion about this on the video when I ended up talking about this a little while ago, but lots and lots of differing opinions on this. There you have it there. That's the before the change. And then after the change, it looks like it's, you know, snappy response, no sliding. It's just immediately when you stop, so on and so forth. So again, these are the classes it's going to apply to: Archer, Guardian, Assassin, Nova, Sage, and Corsair. So, you know, that's been a little while coming now. And the Corsair Awakening teaser. We haven't really heard a lot about this. Another thing that a lot of people have been asking me about, which unfortunately I do not know the answer to yet. I would imagine it's going to be coming. More info about it in the next week's update on NA, EU, and Southeast Asia. That is the graduation for seasons. We don't know. They've been very quiet about it. They've been pretty quiet about the Corsair Awakening. We're starting to get a little bit more info about this now on the Global Labs version, but you know, they've still been pretty darn quiet about it. So as the coming weeks, you know, as we get more info with the next few updates, I'm sure we'll know more, especially about the season graduation and the little quest that you're going to have to do. Most likely very similar to last season's, like where you have to do a little tiny quest line in order to get that Kaposha. We'll know more about it pretty soon, but as of right now, it's still been, you know, not really a whole lot going on with that. So I will not go into this word for word. If you guys want to take a look at this in more detail, feel free to. But I want to actually go down to the images here that they have and kind of ask you guys, what do you think about this, right? Because, like, that's what I want to really end off the video on is what are your thoughts and opinions about these images here? What do you guys think about the Awakening weapon? Are you surprised? Maybe still a little confused? Was this on par with your expectations? Were you expecting something different? But basically, we've got a little outline there. It is, you know, make of it as you will, I guess. This is the image that we have. This is what we've got to go with for now. I'm sure as time goes on, we'll get more and more, potentially even more revealed about this image here. But, you know, there's that little teaser for the Awakening. And also we have this image right here with a little line of text. Looks like we got like a cannon thing. Corsair is preparing to awaken. The image above is not Corsair's weapon, so whose weapon is it? We look forward to seeing many of you play. Man, that is a very interesting little ending thought right there. And I could go on about my theories, but that's all they would be. They would just be my ideas, speculation, no confirmation. And I want to try to keep that out of the video just in case. Like, you know, I will open it up to you guys though. Maybe if you guys like want to actually, you know, I'll be more open to this on the Twitch live stream, right? Because there I can kind of go on about my thoughts and opinions, where if I leave it in the video, I don't want people accidentally mistaking it as fact. So, you know, if you want to talk about it more or know more, feel free to check out the Twitch live stream at twitch.tv/salt. Crazy things have been happening lately, so thank you to those of you guys who've been watching and enjoying. But to end off the video, I want to ask you guys, what do you think about both of these images here? What are your thoughts and opinions? And, you know, what do you want to make of all of this right here? Even though I'm going to stay a little quiet here on my thoughts and opinions for the video, I will open it up to you guys. Feel free to let me know in the comments section. I'm very curious. I'll be reading this and seeing what you guys think. And with that being said, though, that's going to be about it for the video for today. So thank you once again for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. And if you did, and you want more videos like this in the future, consider leaving a quick like. It really does mean more than you can imagine. You guys know the YouTube algorithm has got its particular things that it likes, and taking a quick second to leave a like means more than you can imagine. So thank you, those of you guys who do that. If you're newer and if you enjoy the videos, if you want more videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to turn those notifications on to get alerts of videos in the future as well. So thank you to all of you guys who do that. Feel free to check out the Twitch stream. I've been streaming 4 to 6 nights a week, twitch.tv/salt. Lots of enhancing, and yeah, that's going to be it for now. So take care, everyone. Have a good one, and until next time.